First of all, welcome in this live session. We are going to discuss IHBAS M.Phil Clinical Psychology question paper that they conducted on 20th October 2024. So let's begin. I think question paper was not up to mark, or question paper not was like M.Phil, that is not matching the standard of M.Phil Clinical Psychology. So chances are very high that this will be high scoring exam, and many individual will get more than 90% marks. So let's begin, right? First question you can see here. First question was, we are discussing series A, right? Series A, you can see here series A. What does clinical psychology primarily focus on? Options are industrial application, assessment and treatment of mental illness, behavioral changes in animals, organizational management. First of all, answer is B, assessment and treatment of mental illness, right? Why I am mentioning it? Clinical psychology primarily deal with diagnosing, assessing and treating mental health disorder and psychological distress. It focuses including therapy, counseling and intervention strategies for individuals who are suffering from conditions like depression, anxiety and other psychological issues. So here, if we are looking around the options, so option A mentioning industrial applications, option B mentioning assessment and treatment of mental illness, option C mentioning behavioral changes in animals, and option D mentioning organizational management. So according to the option, when we are looking around all those options, B is the closest one, assessment and treatment of mental illnesses. Now I am moving ahead with the question number 2. Here you can see question mentioning which developmental stage is associated with Erikson's trust versus mistrust conflict, right? We all are aware about this particular theory. Options are adolescence, infancy, middle childhood, early adulthood. When we talk about Erikson, trust versus mistrust is the first stage in his psychological development theory. We all are aware about their 8 stages. And when we talk about which developmental stage is associated with Erikson, trust versus mistrust, that will be infancy period. That is from 0 to 18 months. At this particular stage, if parents, caregiver, providing nurturance, love, and if they are engaged in various activity with children like cuddling, hugging, kissing to the children, nurturing, we can say, so they are developing trust. If any child will fail to develop trust, then they will develop mistrust. So according to the given options, we can say answer, this answer will be B. Answer is B, infancy. Anjali mentioning, sir, what do you think expected cutoff for general category? Anjali, I don't want to demotivate any individual, but I am expecting cutoff will be around 90% this time, because questions was so easy, and when questions will be easy, that exam will be difficult to crack, right? If question paper is complex, so that will be low scoring. If question paper is too easy, like we saw in IHBAS, then cutoff will go up. So I am expecting around 90%. So if any individual reaching over there, they can expect positive outcome from that exam. So question number 3, here you can see which part of brain is primarily associated with cognitive functions such as problem solving, right? So correct answer is frontal lobe. First of all, I would like to mention that correct answer will be frontal lobe. But why frontal lobe? The frontal lobe, more specifically the prefrontal cortex, is primarily responsible for higher cognitive functions like problem solving, decision making, planning and reasoning. And this part of the lobe playing a critical role in executive functions that allow individual to manage complex processes and behavior. Other lobes, right, it is responsible for various functions. I am not mentioning like what kind of functions frontal lobe performing, other lobe not performing at all, they are not connected at all, because lobes are very complex. What kind of functions are frontal lobe performing? Other lobe might be involved in similar kind of functions, but when we are talking about frontal lobe, primarily we are connecting them to problem solving, decision making, planning, reasoning. Similarly, when we talk about occipital lobe, we are connecting them to the vision. When we talk about temporal lobe, we are connecting them to auditory processing. When we are talking about parietal lobe, we are connecting them to managing sensory input. So if we are looking around all the data, researches, evidences, then we are finding that frontal lobe will be more appropriate in comparison of others. So we can say that will be the right answer. Which part of the brain is primarily associated with cognitive functions such as problem solving? So correct answer is frontal lobe. Now question number 4, you can see, what does groupthink refer to in social psychology? I must say, I need to mention this, that whenever I am looking around all these questions, right, I feel good. At the same time, I feel bad for those individuals as well who participated in those exams, because due to this level of questions, there will be, right, huge, right, overlapping in the marks. I mean to mention, like on a single number, on the single mark, like if we are going to look at 89, so you can find that there will be 8-9 individuals who will fall at 89. So this kind of problem will be there this time, I think. Coming back to the question, what does groupthink refer to in social psychology? Our options are individual thinking, collective decision making that discourages dissent, brainstorming, and peer pressure, right? When we talk about groupthink, you all will be aware what groupthink mean, right? So when we talk about the answer is based on so many things that we can discuss, and we can look into those. When we talk about this particular question, so most closest answer will be collective decision making and discourage dissent. Why I am saying it? Just because groupthink basically referring to a psychological phenomenon where a group of people strive for consensus without critically evaluating alternative idea or viewpoint. So this desire for harmony and conformity can suppress dissenting opinion, right? So this is the reason, because you are looking into the options like individual thinking, brainstorming, and peer pressure. That is not close to what they are asking, right, in their statement. What does groupthink refer? So whenever we are talking about groupthink, that is the collective decision making that discourage dissent. So all those individuals who are participating in any decision making, all those individuals try to be together, and they don't want to engage in critical evaluation and all. So correct answer will be B, collective decision making that discourage dissent. Next, you can see which disorder is characterized by persistent sadness and loss of interest. So options are schizophrenia, depression, OCD, and bipolar disorder, and correct answer is depression, because here you can see schizophrenia, OCD, and bipolar disorder is not characterized by sadness and loss of interest. So correct answer will be depression. Next is the exocrine gland called fill in the blank, which secrete chemical substances other than hormones. If you are having any problem in any question, let me know, I will explain them, because I think you all are aware, most of the question is relatively easy. So if you are having any doubt in any question, let me know, I will try to explain them. So next you can see the endocrine gland are called fill in the blank, which secrete chemical substances other than hormones. A is duct glands, ductless gland, primary, and none of the above, right? So correct answer will be duct gland. We all are aware duct and duct, right, less. So when we talk about ductless gland, that is endocrine gland, endocrine system. Duct is a kind of pipe. So duct gland means if any changes, if any gland will secrete into internal part of the body, that will be secreted, or that will came out from the body, from the internal part of the body. They will came out right at the surface or outside the body through a pipe like structure. That's why we call them duct gland. Ductless gland means when certain substance will be created, there are no any duct, there are no any path to come out, so they will melt with the blood, and they will impact our different functions. So correct answer will be duct gland. So this is the thing. The next one, match list 1 with list 2. I always mentioning matchmaking question will be relatively easier to answer. So here you can see Dollard and Miller, Skinner, Bandera and Walters, and Maslow. Right? These are the options we are having. And in list 2, radical behaviorism, self-actualization, early social learning, and later school learning. You might be aware about all the options, but suppose that you are not aware about few. You are not aware about Dollard, and you are not aware about like Maslow, but you will be. I am just taking an example. So suppose that you are well aware about Skinner. So you know Skinner is connected to radical behaviorism. So B1 is associated. B1 is associated. So now you have to look into option. There are two options, B1. Then suppose that you are aware about Bandera and Walters, and Bandera and Walters is connected to early social learning, right? Early social learning, right? We all are aware. Bandera presented Bovedal experiment. They talked about observation. They talked about social learning theory, right? So Bandera is connected to early social learning. That means C3, E3. Now you can see C will be the right answer, right? Fine. A2, Dollard and yes, B1 and C3. Fine, right? But I would like to change this particular response. What I am mentioning, I forget to consider later social learning, right? If we are having these two, early social learning and later social learning, I will recommend fourth one, right? So if any individual having this kind of doubt, so you can use one more, like Maslow is connected to self-actualization, Dollard and Miller is connected to early social learning, and Bandera and Walters is connected to this one, fourth one. So we can say accordingly we can choose our right answer. So Dollard and Miller, early social learning, Skinner, radical behaviorism, Bandera and Walters, later social learning, Maslow, self-actualization. So we can move accordingly, right? We can move ahead. Next is, actually I'm not used to with this screen, so relatively today basically I'm learning how to operate. Okay, here you can see which of the following personality type is described as noisy, callous and fond of physical activity. Correct answer will be mesomorph, right? Here you can see correct answer is C, mesomorph. We all are aware the mesomorph personality type is characterized by being muscular, active and energetic and so on, so on. There are so many characters that we can relate to mesomorph. So mesomorph will be the right answer. Who among the following has defined perception as a complex of sensory and imaginal event? So correct answer will be Titchener. If you are not aware, I would like to mention that Edward Titchener, he was the key figure in structuralism. They defined perception as a complex of sensory and imaginal events. He confined that perception result from mind's ability to integrate and organize sensory information into meaningful wholes. If you remember, there was clash between a structuralist and Gestaltian. A structuralist said perception is a building block of sensation, but at the same time Gestaltian started saying that no, perception is not only building block of sensation, that is more than that, and they presented few laws. So Titchener emphasized the importance of sensation in forming our understanding of the world, and they argued that our perceptual experiences are shaped not just by directly sensory input but also by mental processes and imaginary. But like they haven't went beyond the concept of imagery, mental processes, as well as sensation that we are receiving through our sense organ. So we can say his work laid the foundation for later psychological theory that explore how we interpret and interact with our environment, and mainly and mostly whenever we are looking into the theory of Edward Titchener, how they explained perception. So we are discussing about sensory information, mental processes and imagery. So if you will look into these options, then correct answer will be B, Titchener. Number 10th, who demonstrated that economical deprivation affect perception? So when we talk about these options, Bruta and Ganguly, Brunner and Goodman, Siegel and Herskowitz. So correct answer is B, Brunner and Goodman. Why we are choosing this one? Because Brunner and Goodman conducted studies that demonstrating that economic deprivation influencing perception. So whenever you will go with their studies, you can clearly identify that they are emphasizing on economical deprivation that influencing our perception, and their research showing that individuals from lower socio-economical background tend to underestimate the size of object compared to those from wealthier backgrounds, right? So I hope you understood or you are aware about this particular theory. So when they conducted a study, they found that lower socio-economical backgrounds people, those people who belonging to lower socio-economical status, they are underestimating the size of object. That means size is bigger, but they are underestimating their size in comparison of those individuals who are from higher socio-economical status, right? So Brunner and Goodman is one of the good choices that we can go with. So correct answer will be Brunner and Goodman. Question number 11. They are mentioning functionalism, an early school of thought in psychology, was most closely associated with which psychologist? I don't think I have to answer it, right? Edward Titchener, John Watson, William James and G. Stanley Hall. We all are aware William James will be right answer. Okay, Leon Festinger is the best known for developing which psychological theories? If any individual want to know more about Leon Festinger, I made a video on this particular topic. Correct answer, first of all, I would like to mention correct answer is cognitive dissonance. B is the right answer. If any individual want to know more about what is cognitive dissonance and what kind of contribution they presented, Leon Festinger presented in this theory, what they said, you can visit that particular video. But in brief, I would like to mention that Leon Festinger is best known for developing their theory in cognitive dissonance. We all are aware what is cognitive dissonance means. Cognitive dissonance means when there will be opposite thoughts, or what we can say, when there are classes between behavior and attitude, we can say that is cognitive dissonance, right? That they presented in 1957. This theory simply mentioning that individual experience discomfort, we can say dissonance, when they hold two or more conflicting belief, attitude or value, or when their behavior contradicts belief, right? So what kind of belief they are having, and their behavior contradicting their belief, we can say there will be discomfort, that is dissonance, right? To alleviate this discomfort, people are motivated to change their attitude or belief to achieve consistency. So according to Leon Festinger, there are few studies I found that criticizing this particular approach, but according to Leon Festinger, they are mentioning whenever there are conflict between belief and behavior, to reduce those discomfort, to alleviate those particular comfort, individuals are motivated to change their attitude or belief to achieve consistency. So Festinger's research on cognitive dissonance has had a significant impact on social psychology, that influencing our understanding of attitude change, decision making, and behavior rationalization. So if you are looking with all these options, so correct answer will be cognitive dissonance, right? Okay, question number 13. Jyoti mentioning, good evening sir, good evening Jyoti, please tell what would be the expected cutoff for general category. What I am mentioning, from last few years we are identifying that cutoff going around 85. So I am saying, right, lower cutoff will be around 90, right? Maybe you can find, right, 90 plus minus 2, but I am expecting this, right? Let's see what is going to happen. Rinki mentioning, hello sir, expected cutoff of OVC category. Sig mentioning option B. Rinki mentioning, sir, please answer my question. Okay, Rinki, I answered it. So let me know what is the right answer for question number 13. Savoring is a concept in positive psychology that involves, right? I'm waiting for your responses. So just let me know what is the right answer of it. Savoring is a concept in positive psychology that involves option A, avoiding negative experiences, enhancing the enjoyment of positive experiences, minimizing stress through relaxation, reflecting on past traumas. Just waiting for your response, right? Then I will try to answer them out. Question number 13, what is the right answer? I am waiting your response in chat box. Savoring is a concept in positive psychology that involves avoiding negative experiences, enhancing the enjoyment of positive experiences, minimizing stress through relaxation, reflecting on past traumas. Okay, I got first response and you are correct. So well done, Nemesis, your answer is right. Yes, Sethi Saab, your answer is also right. Great. Namaste Neelam. If you are having anything to mention, you can mention in chat box. So correct answer is B. Enhancing the enjoyment of positive experiences. Enhancing the enjoyment of positive experiences. Try to understand it, why that is correct answer. When we talk about savoring, savoring is a key concept in positive psychology that refers to the process of enhancing the enjoyment of positive experiences. It simply involves actively engaging in the prolonging pleasurable moment and allowing they allow person to fully appreciate and derive from satisfaction from positive event, and this can include mindfulness, right? Mindfulness and right, celebrating the happy moment or sharing positive experiences with other individuals. So savoring can lead to greater overall experiences of happiness and well-being by promoting a deeper connection to joyful experiences and creating lasting positive memories. So, when we talk about savoring, their explanation is enhancing the enjoyment of positive experiences. B will be right answer. So I am expecting that more individual will participate in question number 14, right? So question number 14 mentioning social identity theory posits that individuals derive part of their identity from options are their economic status, their group membership and social categories, their personal achievements, their personal preferences, right? I am waiting for your responses. Okay. Fine. So here you can see the options are their economic status, their group membership and social categories, their personal achievements, their personal preferences. So Nemesis, yes, you are absolutely right. Yes, Singh, correct. Good evening, Yamini. Good evening. You can participate in this QA. Basically, we are discussing about discussing IHBAS question paper that they conducted 20th October. Ansiba, yes, you are right. Yes, Rinki, you are correct. Siddhi, Pragyan, yes, correct. You all are right. Correct answer is B, their group membership and social categories. Social identity theory, as name suggests, right? This is connected to our identity, how we are deciding which group I have to join and which group I cannot join. So मुझे किससे distance maintain करना है, किस group को join करना है, how I will decide. That particular concept Henry Tejfel and John Turner presented in their theory. We call them social identity theory. This particular theory simply mentioning and omitting that individual derive a significant part of their identity from the group membership and social category. That means whenever we are looking around our identity, that is connected to certain society, that is connected to certain group. Whenever we are talking about our identity, we talk about race, we talk about nationality, we talk about religion, we talk about gender, we talk about social affiliation. Whenever I am asking who you are, so you can mention your name, and then after that particular name you will mention maybe your gender, who you are. That means you will mention I am a psychologist, I am psychology student, right? You can mention, okay, I am the member of this particular association, this particular community, right? There are so many things. I am Indian, right? That is nationality. That is also, right, group and all, larger group and all. So social identity theory mentioning how different groups and society forming our identity and how we are deciding कि मुझे कौन सा group join करना है और कौन सा group join नहीं करना. So correct answer will be B, their group membership, social categories. Question number 15, what is the halo effect? What is the halo effect? And options are, you can see options, the tendency to judge others based on their group membership. Option B mentioning the influence of a positive trait on a perception of other traits, the tendency to overlook negative behaviors in individuals, the effect of initial impression on subsequent judgments, right? When we talk about halo effect, halo effect simply means, I am waiting for your response if you can answer this. Halo effect means, I am just explaining halo effect in a brief. Till then you can answer the question. Halo effect means whenever we are identifying any negative characteristics in someone, we are considering other, or we are associating other negative characteristics to that individual. If we are identifying any positive characteristics in someone, we can relate other positive characteristics to that individual, right? So this is a kind of halo effect. So halo effect refers to the cognitive bias where the perception of one positive characteristics of a person influence the perception of other trait, that we think they are having. For example, if we saw someone, they are attractive, right? They are fall in those, right, example of beautiful and handsome. So we will think that those individuals will be polite, those individuals will be kind, and those individuals will be intelligent. But we all are aware how individual looks, that is not connected to their politeness, that is not connected to their intelligence, that is not connected to any of other characteristics that we are discussing. But these kind of biasness work over there. We call them cognitive biasness, and that will be halo effect, right? So just let me know what is the right answer, right? Okay, I am getting few responses. Ansiva, correct. Sethi Saab, yes, that is correct. Nemesis, okay. Thank you for mentioning right additional detail. Yes, Manohar, correct. Hridaya, yes, correct. So correct answer is the influence of a positive trait on a person on the perception of other traits, right? B, the influence of a positive trait on the perception of other traits. B is the right answer. Let's move with question number 16. I don't think you will face difficulties over there, but for my satisfaction, you can mention right answer in chat box. Who developed the stage of cognitive development? Sigmund Freud, Jean Piaget, Erikson, and Lawrence Kohlberg. Now you can see whenever we are asking this kind of question in M.Phil Clinical Psychology entrances, then it's very natural that the cutoff will go high, go up, right? Freud, Jean Piaget, Erikson, and Lawrence Kohlberg. We all are aware. We do not need to discuss it. The correct answer will be Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget is the right answer, right? Okay. Question number 17. Which personality assessment tool uses ink blots to assess thought processes? Again, your options are MMPI, thematic apperception test, Rorschach test, and Myers-Briggs type indicator, MBTI, right? You all, right, having answer of this. No one having any doubt related to this question. Correct answer is C, Rorschach test. We all are aware Rorschach is a kind of ink blot test, and what they're asking in their statement, which personality assessment tool uses ink blots to assess thoughts process. So correct answer will be C, Rorschach. Next, which disorder is classified as a neurodevelopmental disorder, right? We recently completed this topic in our live class. So those individuals, right, who taken that particular class, you will be aware about all the neurodevelopmental disorder. Options are OCD, ADHD, borderline personality disorder, and GAD. Right, we all are aware that is ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Right, so this will be the right one. Next, what does the term neuroplasticity refers to? Neuroplasticity is a really very important topic, right? Whenever we are moving with any entrances, we cannot ignore this topic because frequently we are finding one question from neuroplasticity. If you want to understand more about neuroplasticity, how they work, what it means, you can visit our channel, right? Videos are available on YouTube in which I explained about neuroplasticity along with few examples and objective questions. So you can visit those. Here you can see what does the term neuroplasticity refers to. Option A mentioning the ability of the brain to change throughout life, the brain's protective coating, C, memory loss, and D, brain cell death. Okay, so Siddhi, yes, you are correct. Nemesis, correct. Okay, Ansiva, yes, correct. Singh, yes, correct. Yes, you all are correct. So correct answer will be A, the ability of the brain to change throughout life. Why this is the right answer? If you are aware about neuroplasticity, you might have this information that neuroplasticity refers to the brain's remarkable ability to recognize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. I read a few researches. In those particular researches, they presented and they tried to convince us that if certain area of the brain is going to damage, like we can take example of Broca area. If Broca area is going to damage just because of any accident or just because of any malfunctioning in those area, other area of the brain around Broca area, they are able to mimic the function of Broca, right? So neuroplasticity, right, helping us, right, and allow us or allow our brain to adapt in response to learning, experiences or injury. So if there are any injury, right, if we have to adapt certain experiences, we have to learn something new, in those particular situations neuroplasticity help us. Moving ahead, question number 20. Who is known for their work on observational learning and the Bobo-doll experiment? In the beginning, right, I already presented it, and who can do mistake in this kind of question, right? No one can do mistake, specifically if they are psychology student, and more specifically if any individual doing preparation, right, for M.Phil Clinical Psychology, I don't think they will do mistake. The correct answer is, you can mention, right, this is question number 20. So Siddhi, yes, great, you are right. Ansiba, correct. Manohar, correct. Nemesis, yes. Singh, yes. Khushi, yes, correct. You all are correct. Correct answer is B, that is Albert Bandura. Right. Next one. A graphical representation of correlational data is called graphical representation of correlational data is called bell curve, chi-square, scatter plot and skewed distribution. Basically, why this particular question is so easy? Because all the options that we are having that are so unrelated. So when, right, we are finding these kind of options, so we can use elimination method very easily. First of all, you all will be aware what is the right answer, right? Suppose that if any individual having confusion or maybe, right, they are not aware what is the right answer, you can eliminate them easily, right? So graphical representation of correlational data is a scatter plot. Whenever we are presenting correlation graphically, so we call them a scatter plot, right? So correct answer will be C. Next one. Okay, right, few individual doing mistake, like Nemesis, you are mentioning 21 A, Singh A, Ansiva, you are also mentioning A, but correct answer will be a scatter plot. Okay, I am explaining what a scatter plot mean, because you are doing mistake here, that you are I think struggling. Sethi, yes, you are right, and Siddhi, you are correct. Now why I am mentioning A? Why a scatter plot is right answer? A scatter plot, as I told you and question mentioning, a scatter plot is a graphical representation that we are using to display the relationship between two quantitative variables, and each point on the scatter plot correspond to the observation in the data set, right? With one variable represented on x-axis and other variable is represented by y-axis. So whenever you are representing your variables, right, on x or y, and what kind of graph you are getting, that is a scatter plot. So correct answer will be C. Question number 22. People are likely to invest less effort in a task when they are working with others. What is this phenomenon called? And we all facing this kind of phenomenon in the college, right? Suppose that if there are any group task that your teacher assigned to you, or maybe your, right, higher authority assigned any certain task to you, and you are putting less effort in those kind of thing, right? What is the right answer? You can mention in chat box. Question number 22. So you can mention, right? Question number 22. Okay, fine. I'm getting wrong responses as well. I will explain, right, what is the right answer, and I will explain why that is right. So your options are social facilitation, social loafing, de-individuation, and sleeper effect. Question is, people are likely to invest less effort in a task when they are working with others. What is the right answer? Option A, social facilitation, social loafing, de-individuation, and sleeper effect. Okay, this is question number 22. Yes, Nemesis, you are absolutely right. Yes, yes, Sethi, you are right. Khushi, correct. Manohar, correct. Hridaya, correct. I got one wrong response, but it's okay. Whenever we are learning, don't hesitate to do mistake, right? Siddhi mentioning C, but that's absolutely fine. Answer is social loafing. Now we have to understand what is social loafing. Social loafing simply means when any individual having belief or they think that my effort will not be countable. If I will put my less effort, I will not be countable. If I will put more effort, I will not countable. My effort will not be countable. So when any individual's effort, they think their effort will not be countable, in those particular situations, they are doing less effort. So suppose that we can take example. If 10 individual assigned a same task and there are one person they think कि अगर मैं बहुत ज़्यादा हार्ड वर्क करूँ भी, बहुत ज़्यादा कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन दूँ भी, तो आई विल नॉट बी रिकॉग्नाइजेबल. सो they will just try to participate, but they will not present that level of effort that they can present or they can put into it, right? So this is loafing. We call them social loafing. This is social loafing. So answer will be B, social loafing. Question number 23. Which of the following hormone is being secreted by adrenal gland? Cortisol, epinephrine, A and B, and melatonin, right? So just let me know the right answer. I don't think you will face again any difficulties if we are aware about the basics of neurotransmitters and basics of hormones. We can answer them. So question is, which of the following hormone is being secreted by adrenal gland? A, cortisol, B, epinephrine, C, A and B, and D, melatonin. Okay, question number 23. Ansiba, yes, you are correct. You are mentioning right. Yes, Sethi, Saab, Singh, yes, correct. Siddhi, yes, correct. Khushi, Duggal, yes, Khushi. Nemesis, yes, correct. Oh, wow, well done. So basically here you can see option A, cortisol, option B, epinephrine, option C, A and B both, and D, melatonin, right? So yes, C is the right answer. Question is, which of the following hormone is being secreted by adrenal gland? So that will be cortisol and epinephrine, right? Cortisol is a stress hormone. I'm not mentioning that is the only hormone that will be secreted by different organs when individual in stress, but these are primarily related to stress and all. Question number 24. Question number 24 mentioning, fill in the blank ensures assignment of subject of a population to treatment group in such a way that for any given assignment to the treatment group, every member of population has equal probability of being chosen. Okay, few individual reported that they are having confusion between these two options, right? These two options, random sampling and randomization, and correct answer is randomization. Why that is the right answer? Why random sampling is not correct? Random sampling is a sampling technique. Whenever we are selecting sample, and if you are using a such technique in which each and every member of population having equal chances to be selected as sample, we can say that is random sampling. That is a technique of sampling. But if we selected sample, now you have to assign them in different groups. So suppose that you selected 100 samples and you created two groups, one control and one experimental, and you have to assign those 100 subjects into, right, these two groups. At that particular time, right, we are using randomization. We are using randomization to create similar groups, right, those experimental and those right, control group. So correct answer will be randomization, not random sampling. Okay, question number 25. 25, okay, 25 mentioning which of the following is an example of the power of roles. Okay, fine. Option A mentioning Robert's cave experiment. Option B mentioning Milgram massage experiment. Option C mentioning Gilstein sock research, and Zimbardo prison experiment. Right? Just let me know what is the right answer. Question is, which of the following is an example of the power of roles? Robert's cave experiment. Option B, Milgram's massage experiment. Option C, Gilstein's sock research. Option D, Zimbardo's prison experiment. Okay. Fine. Yes, CT, right. You are mentioning right. Correct. Well done. Okay. Yes, Ansiva, correct. Yes, you are right. Yes, Hudaya, correct. One thing that I always mentioning in my class whenever I am taking any right session, I am mentioning, do not hesitate to do mistake whenever you are taking class, right? So we are taking class, and whenever we are learning, no matter, right, who I am, if I am attending any lecture, attending any class, do not hesitate to do mistake, because if we are visiting any lecture, attending any lecture, so we must have sense that I am here to learn. Do not hesitate to do mistake. If you don't know, ask. If you having any doubt, just mention them in the class. And if you are having what we can say, if we are not understanding something or कोई confusion है, so be right vocal about it, right? So if you are choosing any answer here in this particular session, and if your answer is wrong, that's completely okay, that's fine. Do not hesitate to do mistake. Yes, Tanya, you are mentioning right. Yes, Siddhi. Okay, so as you are mentioning, the correct answer is Zimbardo prison experiment, right? Zimbardo prison experiment is one of the popular experiment that we are having in psychology. As name suggests, that is presented by Zimbardo. They conducted this in 1971. It's one of the well-known example of power of roles. In this particular study, college students were assigned to either guard or prisoners in a stimulated prison environment, and they conducted research over there, and they found it like how, right, power of roles working. So if you want to get more about it, you can read Zimbardo prison experiment. Correct answer is D. Question number 26. In social psychology, reactance is. In social psychology, what is the meaning of reactance? Option A, the tendency to comply with direct request, the motivation to restore freedom when it is threatened, the effect of persuasive messages on attitude change. Option D, the tendency of follow social norms without questions. Just let me know what is the right answer. In social psychology, a reactance is the tendency to comply with direct request, the motivation to restore freedom when it is threatened, the effect of persuasive messages on attitude change, the tendency to follow social norms without question. Yes, I am getting few responses like Tanya, Nemesis, Siddhi, Sethi, right? You all are correct, right? You all are correct. Correct answer will be B. The motivation to restore freedom when it is threatened. Here you can see in the nature versus nurture debate, which early philosopher argued that mind was a tabula rasa or blank state at birth. I don't think, right, any individual having any confusion, any doubt, right, that will be John Locke, right. John was influential philosopher in 17th century, and they proposed the idea of the mind as a tabula rasa, or we can say blank state, right, at the time of birth. He said that individuals are born without innate idea, and that knowledge and personality they shaped by, and basically what we can say, when child born, at that time they don't have anything, right, the personality, right, and other things, right, will be shaped by the knowledge that they are gaining, right, perception that they are getting through interaction with the environment. So correct answer is John. Question number 28. Which brain structure is primarily involved in regulating emotions such as fear and aggression? Okay, fine. I am expecting that if we are participating in M.Phil exam, the options will be little difficult, right? If there are amygdala, no single individual will not face any difficulty to choose amygdala. We all are aware that amygdala is responsible for emotional reaction, more specifically negative emotions like aggression. And this statement clearly mentioning which brain structure is primarily involved in resulting emotions such as fear and aggression: hippocampus, hypothalamus, amygdala, cerebellum. So correct answer is amygdala. We can make this question more difficult if we are giving only two options or three options like hippocampus, hypothalamus and amygdala, and one or two more option we can assign like A and C, B and C. So we can make this question difficult, but in this scenario, in this case, correct answer will be C, and no any individual will face any difficulty to answer this, right? Question number 29. In research, what is a confounding variable? Option A mentioning a variable that is intentionally manipulated. Option B mentioning a variable that influences both the independent and dependent variables. Option C mentioning a variable that only affects the dependent variable. Option D mentioning a variable that measures the outcome. Just try to answer this. Okay, fine. I'm getting few responses like Nemesis. I got your response. Okay, that is correct. Sethi Saab, yes, correct. Siddhi, yes, you are correct. Tanya, correct. Kavi, yes, you are correct. Correct answer is B. A variable that influence both the independent and dependent variable, right? So we all are aware whenever we are conducting a study, there will be one independent variable, there will be one dependent variable, and few variables that we have to identify because they can intervene in our study, like extraneous variable as well as you can see here confounding variable. So confounding variable influence both the independent and dependent variable. So correct answer will be B. Question number 30. In the psychodynamic framework, which concept refers to the in the psychodynamic framework, which concept refers to the defense mechanism where an individual unconsciously attribute their own unacceptable thoughts or feeling to someone else, thereby avoiding direct confrontation with those feelings? Rationalization, projection, displacement, sublimation. This is question number 30. Yes, Kusi, you are right. So, projection is the right answer. So, yes, Kusi, Sethi, Siddhi, Nemesis, and Ansiva, you are correct. Projection is the right answer. Just let me know in chat box, right, what other options are, like what is sublimation, displacement, and rationalization. You can mention their answer as well. So, that's all for today, right? And if any individual having doubt, confusion in any question, because IHBAS ने I think 1 या 2 दिन का time दिया है, you can challenge their question, challenge their answer. So if any individual having doubt and query, if you're having confusion, so you can contact to our team, you can send your questions, as well as right, if you are having any supportive evidence, you can send them to us. We will look into those and we will give you right suggestions accordingly, right? Thank you for today.